My name is Cheryl Wilson. I'm making this video for my class Intro to Healthcare. I'm going to talk about subjects that we covered over the 6-week period time period of this class. Week 1 was Intro to Healthcare, and we talked about the great debate, like healthcare as a whole word or healthcare as 2 words. Healthcare is 1 word, refer to the system of healthcare. That means everything under that umbrella. And healthcare, 2 words, refer to like the services and the treatments of the healthcare patient. We also talked about health and wellness and the 4 basic models of the healthcare system. We also talked about the iron triangle, health literature to see if you could read the paperwork that your doctors or your hospital give you to fill out when you are committed there. We talked about information overload, the types of healthcare systems in week 1, and I just want to go into detail about a few things. The 4 different types of healthcare models we talk about: the Veterich model, which was financed by the government through tax payments. The Bismarck model was the insurance system similar to the American system that we have here. It's through your employees and employees, like you pay a premium every month. You also have co-pays when you go visit the doctor or whatever. We also have the National Health Insurance model. It's a combination of the Veterich and the Bismarck model, and it comes from the government, ran through the insurance program. Every citizen pays for that one, and the out-of-pocket. If you don't have any money to see the doctor or go to the hospital, then you can't be seen. That's basically in the poor countries. I want to move on to week 2. And we talked about so many different things in class. It's hard to keep up with everything, I can assure you. But let's move on to week 2. This was a class that I really enjoyed because I learned so much about healthcare in it. Let's get back to the basics right here. Give me a few minutes. I apologize. We talked about the history of healthcare, environmental influences such as immunization, the public health, or like viruses. Like we had a breakout Ebola, things like that. We talked about political influence, bioterrorism, when people try to affect a large mass population through viruses or bacteria. And we also talked about community paramedics, where they're basically trying to try to help people to keep the emergency room visits down. And how would you choose a hospital if you had to choose a hospital? And that was week 2. We also will go into week 3, which is the structure. We talked about healthcare careers such as doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, neurosurgeons. Why it's a wide variety of professionals in that field, as well as the people that work in the cafeterias at the hospitals. And man, it's so many different ones. It'll be hard to keep up with that. But we're going to move on to organizational theory, where they study the employees at the hospitals, and they do surveys and like try to figure out how to make the employees happier, job satisfaction, things like that, so that they would do a better job as far as the quality of care for the patients. And we also talked about healthcare facilities, risks and hazards. They have a safety code, life safety code 101. And it's basically like just make sure that the building is being maintained, the lights and the fixtures and things like that, because we don't want anybody to have an accident or to get hurt while you're on the premises. Like, the hospital is there to help improve your health. We don't want anybody to come up hurt or uh, physically hurt or mentally hurt or whatever. But anyway, we're going to move on to week 4, which is the finance. And we basically focus on Medicare and Medicaid. So Medicare is for 65 and older, retirees, or people with a permanent disability. And the federal government pays for that. So with Medicaid, it's really focused on the low income population. In the federal and the state government pays for that. It's basically like 80% the government take care of, federal government and the state government pays, and then the customer or the client or the patient pays the other 20%. We talked about brand names and generic drugs, which there is no difference. The standards are still the same with name brand drugs as well as generic medications. We talked about, is it a right or a privilege to have health care? Me personally, I think it's a right as an American citizen or as a human being to have great health care. That's just a moral obligation I think that we have. As far as the Veterans and Health Administration, that's healthcare services for the people who have served in the armed forces or are still in the armed forces. And we have Indian Health Care, which is for people of Alaskan descent and Indians. And working compensation is also insurance that your employee has to provide in case you get hurt on the job. Sometimes you can even receive monetary damages as well. So, moving forward, we're going to go to administration. Like the board of directors, like every hospital has a board of directors that make decisions based on the quality of care. They want to make sure that the patients are getting the best quality of care and also the best services and treatments for their particular health conditions. We also you have a certain ethics and professionalism that you need to portray while you're in the healthcare field. We want to make sure that the patients are comfortable, that they're receiving the best possible care. We also have administration units, and we have accreditation, which if it was me personally, I would want to get accredited by the Joint Commission. They just want to make sure that the quality of care is the top of the line as far as the healthcare in the United States of America. We also have the ACA HPS, which is a survey that they give you 6 weeks after you leave the hospital to rate your response to the quality of care that you received while you was there in the hospital. We focus on diversity. You want all different types of cultures and opinions when it comes to Medicare, because we're dealing with all kind of cultures in Medicare, in the medical field. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I'm not really good with making movies, videos, but they want to know smart goals for me, and my smart goal would be, and by December the 20th, 2020, I want to have a bachelor's degree in healthcare management. That is the smart goal that I have set for myself. And I'm going to pray that I can make it through. So, we had a wonderful teacher this semester. I appreciate you getting back with me for any questions that I had. I hate time tests. They stress me out so bad. But anyway, thank you guys and have a wonderful day.